Hey everyone, and welcome back to another Train Sim World 5 video. Today, we are on a route which I have not made a video on in well over a year at this point. Today we are on the Clinchfield Railroad, which is the only 20th century American route in Train Sim World at the time of recording. And we're basically doing a run from here at Elkhorn down to Dante in the F7, with the F7 and a mixed manifest train and a caboose. So yeah, let's hop in and get started. As you can see, it is snowing. So yeah, I gotta remember how to set this thing up. So reverser, series parallel transition. Let's make sure dependent brake is on. Control fuel pump. All of these lights can come on. Don't have any safeties in this thing, just a vigilance pedal. Let's get the unit selected to 4. Gauge lights on. Brakes are cut in. Units are cut into freight. And yeah, I think we're ready to go. I should emphasize that I have 2 different mods running. Both you can find on the Train Sim community website, and basically they change the engine sound and the horn sound because the default engine and horn sound is quite frankly atrocious. Yeah, and then we've got a caboose over at the other end. This is the only route which I think that has a caboose, that needs a caboose, I mean. So yeah, let's prepare to go. Let's give it notch 3. We've also got a rear horn if we need it. Since we're at a 1.5% grade, let's release the independent once the... Yeah. So, yeah, basically, come on, zoom out. Oh, my mouse wheels really had it. So yeah, this route is decently non-linear, so there's Dante down here, Elkhorn up here, and you've got 4 branch lines as well, which you don't really go on in timetable mode. There's also not too many timetable mode surfaces at all. This route is very, very quiet. This route is actually on the border between Kentucky and West Virginia, so it's in the heart of Appalachian coal country. We have an old-fashioned steel bell rather than an E-bell, which you get on a lot of other American freight stuff. I think I can turn the wiper on that end off. Doesn't really matter. They just get out of sync, and I don't like that. We do have a red signal up ahead. That is due to a northbound train, probably. This guy on the left, he doesn't need a wiper. He'll be fine. Yeah, this route originally came out during the TSW5 era, and it hasn't really gotten an update since. Though the executive producer of TSW himself, Matt Pedalston, the guy with the pink headphones, if you don't, he is, in his spare time, he is working on a route remaster, but since he's a busy guy, I don't really expect him to get it done within anytime soon. But yeah, if we could have a route remaster, that'd be awesome. Oh, hello. We do have another train coming. That is a SD40 northbound manifest train. The SD40 is the other train that you get with this route. And for some reason, there is a glitch with this route where AIs have their rear headlights on the front headlights. So try to keep the speed at a reasonable level. Yeah, the speed limits on this route are honestly pretty dang slow. You will have to keep it, because it's basically just a winding single track for most of the time. Yeah, there's our red signal. Gotta wait for this guy to go by. There's the caboose. Tree. We have a green signal. Get the sander going. Yeah, as you can see, good old-fashioned manual winding windows, just like an old ancient car. Goodness. And credit where credit is due, the rolling stock modeling is really decent. Like, it feels weathered, used, ancient, you know what I mean? It feels really good. Like, the rolling stock is really decent quality. It's just that because there are no F7s running commercially anymore, for obvious reasons, these things are ancient. They were built back in the 50s. The F7 and TSW by default recycles the sounds that you can get off of TS Classic, and those sounds were pretty terrible to begin with, even by TS Classic standards. So you can just imagine that there is basically, you basically have to have a mod in order for this stuff to work properly. Where's my mouse? Alright. I'll leave the wiper on because there's a glitch with the scoring system where if you turn off your wiper in a tunnel, it deducts points because it thinks everything's outside for some reason. But hey, it doesn't really matter at the end of the day. How much oh my goodness, our train hasn't gotten onto the main line section yet. Goodness gracious. That is a good-looking bridge. 25 sign. There are the scenery on this route. If is pretty bare bones. Like, you can tell that the scenery is pretty rushed, but if you can get like Clinchfield in snowy conditions, then this route actually looks really decent. Unfortunately, the maximum amount of snow that it gives you is only a light dusting because it's on the older lighting engine, but hey. That's not J, that's full juice. Oh, and is that a gear change or an overrev? I have no idea. Yeah, like most American freight routes, this is a pretty slow run, but this is actually quite a bit. If you have a bit of spare time on your hands, this thing is a lot of fun. This route is a lot of fun. Oh, and did we over-rev again? Why does it do that? Does it just feel like it wants to change gear or something? I don't know. I'm no expert on this machine. Nowadays, I think this line is still in operation but barely used because, well, coal isn't really a resource it's really used anymore. If it's still fossil fuels, then it mainly uses like natural gas for something like for power generation rather than coal. The only real thing coal is used for is for heritage railways, ironically. I mean, there are a couple of power plants that still use coal, but not that many. We are clear up to 30 miles an hour, which is pretty fast considering we were limited to 20 earlier. This route is pretty beautiful, but I can't say anything in external cam because this thing's really loud in external view. Thanks to the mod, it's a lot louder with the mod than without it, but I'd rather take modded sounds over default sound, if I'm being honest. We've got a green signal. You can tell that yeah, this thing is not the most powerful. You can see why it was replaced, really. But I do love doing a run on the Clinchfield from time to time. I know this route is like the scenery's not that good. The sounds by default aren't that good. What is it? I'm trying to remember. There's still a ton of Clinchfield Railroad rolling stock that we don't get. I think that's a water tower for steam engines. Nice. That we don't get. But I still love giving this route a run from time to time. If you have an interest in the American portion of this game and want to get this, I'd recommend you get it on a pretty hefty sale, but still I can wholeheartedly recommend this if you want something a tad different to do than your average American freight run over Cajon Pass or Cane Creek or something like that. Come on, buddy, let's get out of here. Tunnel. Though the bell doesn't activate by default when you sound the horn, so I do have to keep an eye out for that because I'm used to having the bell going off automatically when something happens. Yeah. So yeah, we're currently at the top end of the route. We've got to get all the way down. Where are we approaching? We're approaching a bypass track at the moment. Performance on this route is honestly pretty decent, but then again there isn't too much to simulate besides a lot of trees and the occasional passing train. When I say that the timetable on this route is Spartan, it is Spartan, even more Spartan than the likes of LGV Mediterranee or Peak Forest. This route is very quiet. You're lucky if you pass one train while doing a mainline run. And often, you get like 60 total timetable services, and a lot of them are split into two parts, so the amount of services that you get is somewhere in the nature of 40 plus about 5 scenarios. And I don't believe there are timetable layers from any other route until this one. But I can't do like a full run fly past shot because that would just take too long. Our train's 870 yards long. Keep climbing. don't really get any adverse signals unless you're at a passing point and you get another train going by. Other than that, you know, it's mainly just you, the mountains, and your wagons. This is a really relaxing route, unless you have like a runaway train situation, but hey, this is a really good route. It's not up to par with modern routes, and there isn't enough Clinchfield stock to really call this like an authentic representation, but I still love running on this route. If you want like a more authentic Clinchfield experience, I believe there's quite a bit of Clinchfield stock in Train Simulator Classic, if I'm not mistaken. The bridge. Let's take a screenshot while I'm here. Hopefully not getting the trees in, but hey. But that looks decent enough. Oh, I forgot to do depth of field. Oops. No motion blur because I don't really like using that, and let's go. Oh, and I forgot to hit the... Oh. I forgot I had that turned off. Hang on. So now hit the save button. There we go. Really say anything in exterior view because it's just so loud. Not really any other trainer I can say that. What is that? What the hell? Oh, it's a small village with a temporary housing park. Okay. I believe you don't get a cold start procedure in this locomotive, except in like maybe one or two of the scenarios, but yeah, like all of the timetable services have you started up and raring to go. I don't believe there's many routes that allow you to have cold starts in the timetable mode. The only one which I can think of off the top of my head is the Expert 101 gameplay pack for Castle to Würzburg. A couple of the light loco runs actually have you start the locomotive up from cold and dark in before setting off, which is pretty cool. Speaking of the Matt Pedalston's remaster for this I wonder what that will include. Will it include new rolling stock? Will it just be a scenery and weather engine, sky and weather engine overhaul, or will it be something more substantial? We just don't know. Since he's working on it in his spare time, there's really like nothing to write home about. Like, he hasn't even shown off anything publicly just yet, but yeah. A lot of these bridges have are made of metal but with wooden platforms on either side. That seems very safe. Definitely health and safety approved. But then again, this is the 1970s, 1980s? I think it's the 1970s this route is set in. And yeah, that would make sense that there's health and safety is a tad more lax than it otherwise would be. $19 miles to go. How far have we gotten? Have we got past the first branch yet? Oh, come on, mouse. Stop misbehaving. No, we haven't even gotten to the first branch. Look how much we've done. Oh my goodness. This route is actually quite long. Well, it takes a while to... It's only 30 miles. I think it's about 30 miles to track if you go in a straight line, but I think that it takes over an hour to complete a full run of just the main trunk line. Which does make sense, considering the speed limits are pretty low. We're only going 30 miles an hour, and that seems to be the upper limit of what we're allowed to do today. Signal. Lovely jelly. Sorry about that, viewers. My brother was talking in the background without my explicit permission, so hey. Alright, notch 5. Gradient is beginning to increase. What's this place up ahead? It is Jacob's Fork. And then we've got Berta Junction just after that, where the line diverges to, and I'm probably gonna... Oh yeah, Pitco Loader. That's the one. So, yeah, like, some of the services have you loading a bunch of coal wagons. Keep climbing, baby. Hopefully, another thing that gets updated with the remaster is the weather effects on the windshield, because look at that. Ugh. The anti-aliasing seems to be having trouble with it. Coming up on... No, we haven't arrived there yet. Hang on. So there is a locomotive parked to one side of Berta Junction. The route scenery is decently varied, which is nice. I've got my headlights on dim and not bright because I don't want to blind oncoming drivers with the headlights reflecting off the snow. Just a safety thing. You know. One thing that I wish had gotten fixed with TSW6, but they haven't done that, is the distance marker, because it only marks distance as the crow flies and not how much track distance you've got left, which is very annoying to try to calculate distance, especially on windier routes. I'm thinking of stuff like the Semmeringbahn or the Bernina line or things like that, which is very annoying. 17 miles to go. Haven't had any wheel slip yet, which is nice, even at full throttle. I think does have decent grip, which is good. To the next tunnel. There are just fair warning, there are quite a few tunnels on this route. Is this Berta Junction? This is Berta Junction. What is that? Is that an F7? Yeah, that's an F7. Parked off over there. Let's give him a friendly honk. Just a singular F7. The F7 is also notable for a couple more reasons, which I'll explain after we get through a tunnel. There's actually two different variants of the F7 included, despite the fact there's only one drivable. There's the F7A, which is the one that we're currently in, which has a cab on one end. And then there's the F7B, which are the two middle ones in our consist today. And that version, the F7B, that means the F7B is the only cabless locomotive in the entirety of TSW that can couple to the F7As and basically used for extra juice, which is quite nice. How far to the next place of interest? Clinchco. We've got Clinchco and then Carney Storage with a branch to... very long branch to... Where is this? Say where this is? Where is this? Oh. Moss Tipple. 7% grade. Oof. We do have a yellow signal ahead. Not good. We don't have any go vias all the way down to Dante, so yeah, I assume that's another train. Hang on. So we're going past Clinchco. Is there another train on my section of track? Okay, there is a train coming north. What is it? It is the first Greenbrier turn part 2 Dante to Delano. So, yeah, I don't know. We have very little forward visibility ahead, I must say, apart from the bit the wipers clearing out for us. And into yet another tunnel. Yeah. Don't usually have the cab light on. This is what it looks like with it on. Way too bright, for one thing. Do have a yellow signal, so... yeah, I don't know what that's for. Do we... oh, we've got a red signal and aspect stop. It's the first Greenbrier turn service. Is that going onto my section of track? I don't honestly know. Oh, and then we also have the short branch up to the Clear River. And the yard there. Alright, we don't have another signal for at least a mile or so, so should be fine. 16 miles to go, which means we've only done 8 miles. What? 24. We've done, it said 24 miles at the start of the run. We've only done 8, it's taken me half an hour. We do have a red signal ahead. Let's give the signal our contact. No, it says, yeah. That was one of the things I was going to I was hoping that was going to be improved with TSW. The dispatcher being the absolute janky mess of code that it is right now. Like, why is it so broken? And why can't we get a better version of it? So annoying how we have to stop, but there we go. That's just the realities of life on a mostly single track line. Yeah, the guy from the south has the green. I don't see him. Where is he? He's definitely a long way down. Wherever he is, he's I don't know where he's went. So. I will be able to stop in time. This thing has pretty powerful brakes. Coming up on... I don't know where this is. So yeah, it's just around this next turn. I'll shut the power off. I do like little rural mountain routes, and this certainly qualifies as one. Full application on the old independent brakes. And since that's 4 locomotives doing the brakes, not just one. Alright, where is this signal? Is it around a blind turn? Yes, it is. Oh my goodness. Thanks, Clinchfield. I just put the emergency brakes on accident. Sorry. Just press that safety pedal real quick. Release the automatic. Alright, now we gotta wait. And I'll actually save the game here, and I will start recording again when that southbound Greenbrier train comes up. Alright, viewers, after what felt like absolutely like a million years of waiting, finally the Greenbrier branch service is just approaching. It was at least 20 minutes of waiting for this train to clear the line. Absolutely ridiculous that this train was allowed to get in front of me. Considering as my service probably has higher priority since it's a mainline service and not going down one of the branch lines. But anyway, enough ranting. Wait for this train to go by. Get out the way. Is he slowing down? Yeah, 13 miles. Oh, he had to slow down to 15 miles an hour. That's just the cherry on top, really. Yeah, he's going down this branch down to Greenbrier, I think. I think it's Greenbrier, with a bunch of coal wagons. Come on, buddy, get out of the way. Oh my gosh, this is ridiculous how long it took this guy to get by. How much of the route have we even covered? Answer. Possibly a third. Maybe less. Oh my gosh, this is going to be an absolute nightmare trying to get all the way down to Clinchfield. But hey, it's just the way it is, I suppose. Because stupid. Ugh. How much longer? How much more of the train has to go by? Possibly a third. Okay. Yeah, I see the caboose. It's almost there. We can finally get going again. On the timetable, it said this would take an hour. I think it's going to take a bit longer than that. Oh, goodness. Oh, well. That's just the way things are. I'm afraid. Okay, green signal. Let's go. Oh, I forgot to put... Because I put the brakes in emergency earlier, having issues. Alright, let's get out of here. Full steam ahead. And finally, we're on the move again. Such 6. We haven't even gotten down to, what is it? Yeah, basically the train was down here at McClear Junction when we got stopped, so I had to come all that way just to try and, full power. Oh, I think it's having to change gear. Getting rapidly back up to 30. Passing, it's just a random coal loader. It isn't even marked on the map. Thank goodness we don't have the time to get to Dante, because otherwise we'd be donezo. green signals, baby. You love to see it. Stop. Why did the amps keep going off? I was doing that before. No one having this up, so there's no point. Goodness gracious. Why was it taking? Why did it take so long for us to... Yeah, and plus, if we have a look, there is a passing point down at Caney Junction, so it could have stopped that Greenbrier service and gotten us to go down to this passing point, but no, it had to let the Greenbrier service have priority and make me wait for years. But hey, probably shouldn't rant too much. Oh, is that a railway crossing? That is. Passing the Clinchfield coal loader. Oh, lovely. Miles to go, so we've gone 10 miles out of 24, I think. Yeah, that would seem about right. We aren't even halfway yet. What? And it's taken me approximately 40 minutes to get this far. So, yeah, we might get there in like around an hour and 10 minutes. Who knows? But hey. Just the way things are on a single track line. Hopefully we don't have any more holdups. Yeah. My frames per second is not doing very well, probably because it's hot weather in real life and I can't open my window because it's raining. My computer has always struggled with cooling, that's for sure. So long. Looks good in certain conditions. It just takes so long to complete just a single mile. But there we go, 12 miles, and that means I'm going to give the game a save, and I'm going to stop recording for a minute just to get my computer to be more okay. Alright, let's keep going. Goodness gracious. Why is my frames per second so low? I don't get it. If anything, Clinchfield should be performing better than other routes, and yet my frames per second just keeps dropping and dropping and dropping, and I just don't know why. Anyway. 12 miles to go out of 24. At least we have a decent long straight section right here. Passing another coal loader and a big bridge of some kind. Right, road bridge. coming up on Kearney Junction, which is where the line to... can't remember. Moss Tipple goes. So yeah, the line is just off to our right-hand side at the moment. Oh wow, that's actually a pretty steep hill to go up. Line to Moss Tipple coming in on the right, and then we just further ahead we have the branch off to Maclear River. Coming up on Maclear now. I wonder how many services a day I've got up the Moss Tipple line. Can't be that many, right? Such a... With the main line being as absolutely dead quiet as it is, yeah. There's the short branch off to Maclear River, branching off on the right, passing Maclear now. And then we have, yeah, decent section of track before the branch to, I can't remember which one this is, Blue Diamond comes off. There's the Maclear loader. 11 miles to go. Got a green signal for the right-hand track, I think. Yeah, it's been uphill basically all the way so far. Miles to go. So you have approximately 2/5 of the trip left, but that's not counting route winding. But I think we have got the windiest sections behind us. Green signal ahead. Should be a normal run down to Dante. So yeah, I'll just drop down a quick save just to be on the absolute safe side. what I am really glad about is A, it's less windy, B, there is this big straight section right here, so yeah. It's not even the end of the route, there's actually a large yard beyond that, which we won't be going to today. Man, this is a... like, if you're looking for a non-linear American freight route, I can probably recommend this. But if you're looking for like a modern American freight route, then probably I would wait and then get both Cajon Pass and High Iron Simulation Santa Fe pack on a sale. The High Iron pack hasn't come out yet as of recording this video, but it looks pretty good. Under 10 miles to go. Don't know why my computer's having so much trouble today, but hey. Parked off on the siding there. Do have a 25 limit coming up. Oh boy. 9 miles to go. What's this little marker for? Oh, it's for one of the... oh, it's the limited power scenario, okay. There, oh, is that branch? Yeah, there's the branch to Blue Diamond. 8 miles to go. 7.5 miles to go. Still climbing. Yay, we can go back up to 30 miles an hour in a minute. Lovely. We've done almost 3/4 of the trip. Three-quarters of our trip are complete. And yeah. How far is it to the straightaway? Not too long. Maybe about 2 miles. a railway crossing ahead. Another tunnel. And we can go back up to 30. Place have a name? No, it doesn't. Oh, we've got a train waiting for us. It is the CRR Extra 3001 northbound coal. Try to be as quick as possible for the guy, because it will take a bit. That's a bunch of wagons parked right there. This isn't passing. Up the hill. Come on, buddy. So, for this straight section, is it a tunnel? I think it's a tunnel. Passing another coal loader. Just 5 miles to go. But much of those 5 miles are, instead of winding, it's just dead straight with a couple of winds, so I'm really glad about that. Climbing, buddy. I actually forgot to get the cab heater on. Is there a cab heater in here? That's full. Why not? I honestly forgot to do that. It's not gonna affect anything. The only train which has window frosting is the expert level BR101 by Trains in Germany, which I alluded to earlier. But yeah. Still a little extra like realism thing. Coming up to Trammel, and the northbound coal is waiting for us here, so I'll have to give him. Sorry, mate. I was being as fast as I could. Couldn't go any faster because of the stupidly low speed limits. But hey. And bear in mind, there's a whole section of like 20 minutes I was waiting for a train, which you're not going to see. So this trip really has been a saga. Oh, it's an SD40. There's actually a glitch with the SD40's horn and headlights, where the headlights point backwards and the horn just doesn't work. And the horn, if you spam it too much, it just stops working properly. Like the audio just doesn't work anymore. My goodness. Going to be a bit before that as the SD40 is allowed to go. So yeah, we're just coming up on Trammel, and then after that it's a long tunnel, a couple of winds, and then we're into Dante yard itself, where hopefully we won't have to set any manual points. No, it doesn't look like it. I think we've got clear tracks all the way to Dante now, which is just awesome. This is actually the first time I've done a full end-to-end run on the main line in in any train. I think I've only done a partial run of the main line before, the couple of branch line runs. Yep, Mr. SD40 is now clear to go. Excellent. Alright. Alright, here we go. Coming up on the Trammel, here's the Trammel coal loader. And coming up on the Trammel tunnel itself, which is I think the longest tunnel on the route. It's at least like 2 or 3 miles long. We don't have too much farther. We are on a 1.8% grade. That's pretty steep. Alright. Next tunnel. Pretty long tunnel, I must say, but yeah, we should be good. In total, this run will probably have taken me like an hour and a half instead of the hour and 6 minutes that the timetable said it would be, because it was like that 20-minute delay at that signal. Limit coming up. There's the light it's the proverbial light at the end of the tunnel, ladies and gentlemen. Let's just let the speed come back naturally. I won't even use the brakes if I have to avoid them. If I can avoid them. Two and a half miles to run to Dante. 5-mile-an-hour limit kicking in. And here we are, finally popping out of the tunnel. Oh goodness, we have a 1.5% downgrade, so I'll just turn the engine on, turn the engine throttle to 0, I mean. How much further? Okay, we've got a couple of winding bits past the Caledonia loader, and then we start coming into Dante Yard. Go quite a bit of a way through the yard to... I'll just drop down a quick save just in case. Just past the Caledonia loader. About to come into Dante Yard. Wow, what a trip this has been. I forgot how long runs on the Clinchfield could take. For goodness sake. Forgot how slow this route was. Miles to go. Coming into Dante now. And here we are, starting to come into the north section of Dante Yard. Got a clear green signal with 1.3 miles to go. I really hope my OBS doesn't crash on me just before we get there, because that'd be rather embarrassing. I love sounding my horn for every railway crossing. That's the best thing about American railways. You get to sound your horn a lot more often. And it also can be a curse if you're living close to a railway, of course, because that can be pretty bad. Especially at night, you've got trains rumbling through. They all have to sound their horns, despite the fact that, yeah. All right, almost there, viewers. Got a coal service, some coal wagons on the side there. Seems to just be static. Got a couple of... .8 miles to go. We do have to go down to 15, which is annoying, but hey, can't do anything about that. And it's not as if Dante is like an outpost of civilization. Oh no, this is still very much stuck in the Appalachians. Wrong button. That's the one. 900 yards to go. At least I haven't had to use my automatic brake, basically this entire trip. Apart from stopping at that one red signal. Which is very nice. My goodness, what a saga this has been. I forgot how long runs over to Clinchfield could take. I should have probably chosen a shorter service, but there you go. I couldn't really. Alright, that's automatic brake online. Let's get it. To try to get us down to 15 within the limit area. 600 yards to go. Yards. Is that turntable? Wait a minute, let me go. I didn't know there was a turntable on this route. You can tell that this is a reused asset, though. I've seen this asset. Well, partially reused. I've seen repainted asset. I've definitely seen that asset on other German routes, which is ironic. 275 yards to go. We're actually stopping on the main line, interestingly enough. Still got really low frame FPS, but hey, can't do anything about that. Probably because of all those diesel fumes. Oh, it's an F7A, then a B, then an ST40, then another F7A. I've never seen an ST40 in those certain kinds of concepts before. 80 yards to go. Service. I don't mind if we stop early, as long as we get there. Within 10 yards, I'll take it. Oh, come on, game. Of course there's that bug. Of course that bug happens as soon as we do this. Whoa, 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 okay, okay. There we go. Oh, man. 1 hour, 41 minutes. Phew. Yeah, so that'll be all for this video, everyone. Thank you. It took almost twice as long as the timetable said it would. So yeah, that'll be all for this video, everyone. Thank you all so much for watching. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the bell for notifications so you don't miss another one. And I'll see you all in the next one. Goodbye, and thank you so much for watching.